Welcome to the Weekend Chat, the show on trending stories and topics. I'm Tanya König.
I'm Ana Maria Montero. As always, thank you so much for joining us. And to the topic of trending TK, this week in Switzerland, a lot of noise online about the postponement of the Paléo Music Festival in Lyon.
That's right, AEM. I went on Google trending stories related to coronavirus in Switzerland yesterday, and I saw Paléo. It was actually number one most searched thing. So many people out there were probably wondering, is it still happening or not? Now it has been postponed to next week. Unfortunately, I did not take a screenshot of that to see that it's top one, but I have one of today, and today it's still one of the top trending stories. And because of that, we have a special guest today. It's the head of the lineup at Paléo Festival.
Danny, thank you so much for joining us today. So you are in charge of the lineup for the Paléo Festival, which of course is now just announced was postponed to 2021. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are you?
I would say 11, if I may. Obviously, it's very sad. Our hearts are broken, not only for us, obviously for everyone involved. It's like we're building a city end of July with 50,000 inhabitants, and there are so many people which are concerned by this decision and everything. Obviously, we're heartbroken.
And for you, again, as the person that takes care of lining up the artists, that's such hard work and coordination of scheduling and all of this. Are you going to be able to transfer any of that work to 2021? Are they going to come back, the artists?
Yeah. We hope so. That's now our goal. We're not talking about the cancellation. We're talking about the postponement of the festival, and that's also what we offer to all the artists. We offer them to come back in 2021 and celebrate with us.
I have to ask, because I know a lot of people were looking forward to Celine Dion as one of your headliners. How easy will it be to bring her back? Is she already showing signs of wanting to come back?
Yes, she definitely is showing signs of wanting to come back. It's not decided yet. There's a whole world tour which has been planned. There are like 60 dates in Europe or something. So this whole logistics needs to be carefully looked at, I guess. We're in close contacts, not only since yesterday, since several weeks already. So yeah, we're putting all our energy together to make this happen. Of course, we'd love to have Celine Dion back in 21.
The whole music festival industry across Europe. I mean, it's a multi-billion industry from Portugal to Bulgaria with all these festivals. How bad is it if you look at the whole picture?
It's significantly bad, and it's maybe too early to say what impact it will have, but this was one major reason for us to cancel our event, because we already know today that in July it will be highly unlikely that bands will be able to travel, that people will be able to travel. So it's obviously clear that there will be no big events this summer. I just heard that now Austria also made a ban on big events till end of August. So it's gonna be devastating to the industry. And frankly, we have to cross all our fingers to hope that 2021 will be good again.
And what are you doing in terms of ticketing? I mean, for people that already have tickets, are they going to be able to roll them over to next year, or are you going to refund? Do you have any idea how that's going to work?
Well, basically both, of course. If we can keep selling Dion, then obviously all the tickets will stay available for next year. Those are the only tickets we have sold. But in our industry association, we offered that both possibilities should be available. On one hand, to make tickets available for next year again, and on the other hand, to refund.
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting, because you say it's postponed. Other festivals have also used that wording of postponing. So in order to tell people you can actually not reimburse your tickets because it's still valid for another festival, but you're not doing that. Still, you're asking people to keep them if possible, because that helps you, right?
Obviously, yeah. There's no intention to not refund if someone wants to be refunded. But obviously, all cash which has been paid to the events is highly needed now. So in terms of cash flow, it's highly important that we can obviously keep the tickets available and not have to refund. But people who cannot come because they're maybe on a travel or on a trip or get married or whatever, obviously there will always be a possibility to get refunded.
And Danny, would there have been a possibility of taking the show online? Like there's so many other people and concerts and events that are just doing it online. Was that ever an option?
I think as an immediate reaction for other events, this was a good thing at the beginning of this whole crisis. But I think in the long term, what we all want is to get back and get those goosebumps in front of a live act with sharing with thousands of people. And I think this obviously online has not the same impact.
How do you see the business revamping, maybe starting with smaller events and then to bigger? I'm now talking not only about Paléo, but events in general in Switzerland, because all of them don't really know how the future looks like.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Obviously, first off, we think that the summer we have to forget, and it's going to be the steps back to the indoor concert situation, which is going to be very interesting to look at. Obviously, we all hope that any vaccine or any treatment or any immunity will come as fast as possible, because frankly, this is the only way to get back to mass gatherings. All the other measures, let's be creative and see what we can come up as a solution.
No events for this year at all?
Who can say? I mean, we're all not really aware of what the precise situation is, and I think even experts, they don't know. So I think we have to stay creative and find new solutions, find new ideas, looking out for a bright future, stay human and be transparent in what we do. And
some good advice.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Donnie.
You're welcome.
So on that note of positivity and solidarity, TK, there is a new movement in town born right here in Switzerland called save2020.org. And basically they are proposing a platform where all of these positive stories that we've been hearing can be collected and communicated and amplified, as they say. One of the people behind the movement, Marina Volheim, joins us now.
Hi, Marina.
Hi.
Hey, Marina. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So you are one of the people behind this movement, Save 2020. Tell us a little bit what exactly you're doing. As I understood, you're trying to bundle all these good actions that are happening around the world right now.
Yeah, we're creating a platform with the notion to aggregate, maximize, and amplify all the wonderful activities that are already happening around the world in terms of communities coming together. We're showcasing doers. From the doers, they're everyday people to much larger celebrities, but with the notion that anybody that does something is an impact in a community. And we want to put the spotlight on all of these wonderful people. And on top of it, we're collecting initiatives where people are asking for help and support.
And why are you doing that? What's the aim behind it?
The aim is to have 2020 become the year in history that we remember communities coming together, helping each other, and setting a new standard for society where empathy and kindness is remembered, as opposed to the year that broke down the system with this pandemic.
So is this something that you can see living in a post-pandemic world? I mean, is it something you'd like to see live on, or is it just for 2020, for example?
No, I would absolutely love to see it last forever. The reason we started with Save 2020 is, well, one, everybody was making fun of 2020 as the worst year ever, and we still think that we can save her and make her a year in history that shaped it for the positive and for the good, and not the most disastrous year to date. And the reason we stopped on 2020 is we have no visibility of time, but together we're going to pull through coronavirus, and together we're going to learn that we can do extraordinary things when we all push in the same direction.
And what kind of actions have you already looked at, or what are you looking for exactly?
Well, I think we're all very touched, firstly, by the amount of people that are doing. And that goes from very small actions to saying thank you to your garbage collector, to checking on the elderly, to all the way these big initiatives where people are creating big programs locally or with refugees or with hospitals. So first, it's the notion that there is no action that is small. All of them are impactful. And we're also looking at ideas that are quite simple, but have a massive impact in terms of answering a need that a community needs at this time.
So at this point, if I had an idea or I knew somebody who had an idea, what would I do? I go to your website and I guess there's a way to upload material, or just in practical sense, what do I have to do?
You would go to www.save.org. You would submit, you have a couple choices. You can submit an initiative that you want us to help amplify and grow. You could also submit an initiative that you've seen in your local community that you think is wonderful, that we will also amplify and grow. And if you know someone in your community that is doing something wonderful and you want to showcase them and put a spotlight, we would be delighted to put a spotlight on your local hero.
So you're looking at ordinary people, but also, as I understood, celebrities?
Yes, celebrities are people too. They're also doing. And in celebrities, I would also add that there's brands and there's CEOs and there's people with more impact in terms of their visibility when they do an action and how much it resonates. And we have been very touched and surprised, not just by actions that people are doing, but the positive response we've had in only the week that we have been live. So there's a lot of exciting things to happen, and together we will save 2020.
And we at CM1 Switzerland, we are also supporting this movement, the Save 2020 movement, by covering some of the actions taken. And I'm actually starting next week with an interview with Gabriela. She's in Brazil, and I'm going to look into how she's trying to make the world a better place right now. AM, what about you? What are you up to next week?
I am going to be speaking to British author and INSEAD professor. Her name is Jennifer Petriglieri, and she wrote a book called Couples That Work. And now she's expanded the concept to say Couples That Work at Home, the survival series. So I'm going to be getting some survival tips from her about what it is to work with your partner at home for the first time. It should be interesting.
That sounds very promising. So if you guys at home don't want to miss out that, head over to cnnmoney.ch next week, but of course now as well for our latest stories. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Bye.